Rather lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. MYKHAYLO is the next Romelu Lukaku at Chelsea. He has not played a single game well for them. He's not scored a single goal for them, not even managing an assist for them. He wants out of the club. He's not happy. And according to his ex-CEO at Shakhtar Donetsk, Dario Sina, the player is not happy at Chelsea and he made a wrong decision. We're going to be diving into that. But then also Arsenal are still interested in Rafinha. And according to Fabrizio Romano, Arsenal did take in a 70 million bid for Rafinha in January, which was rejected by FC Barcelona. And we'll talk about another player in Rasmus Hojlund as well. An update from Fabrizio Romano. Now, hit the like button for me. Subscribe to the podcast as well, because we're going to be talking about betrayal. We're going to be talking about a traitor. We're going to be talking about a player who eventually broke our hearts, and now he is crying crocodile tears. For this video, I'm setting 500 likes. Hit the like button. Let's get this one to 500 likes. Now, let's get into it. Now, yesterday, I was looking at a few updates around the club, and I saw this story, but I didn't actually mind it until today when it developed even further. Ex-CEO, or actually CEO at Shakhtar Donetsk, who was the ex-boss of MYKHAYLO at Shakhtar Donetsk, Dario Sina, has actually come out and said the player is not happy at is not happy at Chelsea. He made a bad decision. He made a wrong decision, and he should have joined Arsenal. He realizes that now, and it is absolutely too late. Dario Sina, the Shakhtar CEO, also says that they wanted 100 million euros, but they did not push MYKHAYLO into signing for Chelsea. He says at the end of the day, it was MYKHAYLO decision because Chelsea offered him more money. Actually says Chelsea offered the wages he wanted. And I don't agree to that. And I don't believe that. And I'm going to be diving into that as well. And he says, for us, all we had to do was get the 100 million euros and let the player decide. And he chose Chelsea. I want your thoughts. I want your opinions right now. And this is a big question. He's flopping at Chelsea, isn't he? Would you take him if there was a turnaround where Chelsea would be like, what happened to Inter Milan with Romelu Lukaku? The player doesn't want to be there. The player is absolutely out of touch with Chelsea. Would you take MYKHAYLO back at Arsenal, or it is over, relationship done, there is no looking back? Now, this is my opinion about this, right? Number one, Shakhtar are absolutely venture capitalists. They are absolute venture capitalists. And you know, with venture capitalism, it's all about your stomach. It's never about players. It's never about other people. It's all about your stomach. And the player, for a full month, actually 2 full months, December and January, made it very clear that he would love to join Arsenal. He wants to go to Arsenal, and you know, everything, right, pointed in that direction. The venture capitalists, Shakhtar, they said, we are only selling to a club that brings us 100 million euros, right? And MYKHAYLO had no choice for me. He didn't have a choice in this. He had already fallen out with the managers. He had already fallen out with Shakhtar, and there was no way back for him. There was no way back for, he wouldn't go back and go, okay, I'm going to stay here at the club for another long time. Right? He had already fallen out with them, flirting with Arsenal, flirting with another team. Right? So they did him dirty in this scenario, and now they're cleaning him. They're cleaning themselves, Shakhtar. They're saying, look, we never tried to force him into this. We never tried to force him into this. He actually chose Chelsea. It is absolutely not true. If Shakhtar had agreed a deal with Arsenal, because we had given them a significant amount of money for MYKHAYLO, if they had agreed to that, 90 million euros, which was Arsenal's best offer, I think MYKHAYLO was never going to go for Chelsea, even if Chelsea had paid more money. But what Shakhtar did is they refused our offer, and they sat and said, well, Chelsea, can you give us 100 million euros? And Chelsea were like, yeah, Joao Felix has a red card. Can you give us MYKHAYLO? And Shakhtar were like, yes, we can convince him to join you. And that's why it took almost 48 hours for personal terms to be agreed. And Fabrizio Romano reported on this very, very clearly. He said 100% fee agreed. Now Chelsea will move in the next hours to try to get personal terms cleared as well. And you cannot believe that this geezer was given almost double what Arsenal were going to give him, right? I think we're going to give him 120 or 100, thousand pounds per week. Chelsea doubled that over a 7-year contract, right? Over a 7-year contract. So now Dario Sina says the player is unhappy. The player is, thinks he made a wrong decision and would have joined Arsenal. He wanted Arsenal, and he's told him he doesn't like Chelsea. This is absolute pure madness. This is real madness, because Chelsea never learn. To be honest, Chelsea never learn. This is the same scenario that happened with Romelu Lukaku. They just seem to sign players that don't want them. It's one thing I don't understand with Chelsea. They seem to sign players that don't want them. They want nothing with their club, and they force themselves on players. Now, I just want to take you just a few months ago. Chelsea signed Romelu Lukaku for almost £90 million. He was flying at Inter Milan. He was doing well at Inter Milan, and he had won them the Italian Serie A. Chelsea, the club they are, bump into Romelu Lukaku, and they're like, we want you back. They pay the money. Lukaku comes at the club. He looks at everything and he says, this is not where I want to be. I don't want to be at Chelsea. This is wrong. I made a wrong decision. And guess what? Chelsea have the most expensive striker in the world on loan to Inter Milan. It's a disgrace. It's a pure disgrace. But with MYKHAYLO MUDRYK, I don't have any sympathy for him. I really don't have any sympathy with him. I think Shakhtar did him dirty, to be honest. And he's going to live with that his whole life. He's, 20 now? By the time he leaves Chelsea, he would be 27. Unless there is a way of Chelsea agreeing, we take our losses and we sell you. Otherwise, he has to play the football because the contract is so long. Who's going to pay that contract? Who's going to buy him, in such a long contract? Unless he's going to leave Chelsea on loan, just like Romelu Lukaku. But this is what happens when you sign for a club for their money. This is what a club, because, we've had so many scenarios. Number one was the Rafinha deal. Rafinha refused to join Chelsea, refused to join Arsenal, although Arsenal and Chelsea both had matched the offer that Leeds United wanted. He said, I want Barcelona, I'm not going anywhere. And we all respected that, and it was a whole summer, and he refused. Frankie de Jong refused to join Man United from FC Barcelona. Barca pushed him out. United pushed her to sign him. Barca tried to sue him. He said, I'm not going anywhere. He said, I won't leave FC Barcelona. This is where I want to be, and I don't care what you people say. I want to be at FC Barcelona. And look, Frankie de Jong is one of the pivotal players at Barcelona right now. So this is where I think MYKHAYLO MUDRYK did himself dirty at the moment. He was excited about the money. He was excited about the 200. No, look, no person, including me, would turn down 200,000 per week. But I think he didn't look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is you sign for a club like Arsenal, for 90 million euros. That's around 75 million pounds. That's no big money, right? You sign for 90 million euros, and you come at Arsenal and you win the title. Your value doubles. That is number one. You have a big ceiling. You have a very, very high ceiling, and you're going to become a quality player in the future. I think he would have even had the opportunity to play for a club like Real Madrid from Arsenal, from Bayern, for Bayern from Arsenal. Because with Arsenal, we never stand in the way of a player. If he wants to go and there is someone who's going to give us the money, you can definitely go. He didn't look at the bigger picture, right? The bigger picture was come at Arsenal, sign a 100k contract, for 4 years. Before you go 3 years into that deal, Arsenal will have already given you 200k. Look at Saka. Look at Saka right now. Saka is going to get more money than MYKHAYLO MUDRYK. He's going to get a more sensible contract than MYKHAYLO MUDRYK. And whenever Saka feels like, okay, I want to go to Manchester City, I think he will go. And look, because Arsenal don't have those ridiculous contracts of 7 years, 8 years, 9 years. Bullshit, right? So for me, MYKHAYLO MUDRYK, he's going to regret this. He's going to regret this move because he joins Chelsea at a decline. I think Graham Potter eventually might get sacked, and that is where the problem is going to be. He's a skilled player, but he's a Graham Potter signing. If a new manager comes in, maybe Sean Dyche, for example, if Sean Dyche came in, I don't think MYKHAYLO is the kind of guy that works, has that work ethic that is wanted by a manager like Sean Dyche or Jose Mourinho or Zinedine Zidane. You never know. I mean, he might work out, and I don't say I want him to flop 100%, but I hope Chelsea get relegated, to be honest. But look, this is a lesson. This is a lesson, and I hope he takes this lesson, very, very well. Really, really, I really, really hope he does. But away from that, Fabrizio Romano also says that Arsenal tried to sign Rafinha in January after failing to sign MYKHAYLO, but Barcelona told us that he is not for sale. Arsenal apparently tabled £70 million on the table for FC Barcelona. We were told the player is not for sale. Now, with Rafinha, I think, he's just picking up from where he left in at Leeds United. It's gonna take some time. I don't think he's one of those players that have hit the ground running. I think Barca have done really, really well this campaign, especially their forward players. But I see him become a real success at FC Barcelona. I've looked at him in that team especially without Dembele. He's got that ability to carry the team on his shoulders with players like Ansu Fati, Robert Lewandowski, Ferran Torres already now on their knees. It looks like the only player standing on his feet and carrying FC Barcelona is Rafinha at the moment. Without Pedri and Gavi, they all look at him and he's a difference maker. You remember in that Manchester United game, he absolutely created a massive difference. So look, if Barca are selling, I would still sign Rafinha. I think he's a great guy, great player, Brazilian. He's got the flair. He runs a lot. His decision making is shocking. In some instances, in some instances, it's alright. But I think he's a young player. If he can add goals to his game, he's going to be phenomenal. Absolutely fantastic in my own case. So Arsenal tried to sign him in January, didn't come through. Deal didn't come through. But I don't have a problem. We can go back in the summer, and Barca do have financial problems. And those are never going to go away, in my opinion. Those are never going to go away. So they will have to either decide between Ferran Torres, Rafinha, and Ansu Fati. Ansu Fati is Barcelona born, so I see him stay. Ferran Torres is the one that can easily leave the club. But if Rafinha is ever available, I mean, no club doesn't take him. Is there a club that will fail to sign Rafinha? Even if it's Manchester United, I think it's better than Anthony. Like, we've had these conversations of the bull crap and bullshit, but it's better than Anthony. If you played him in that Manchester United side, much better. So for me, as an Arsenal fan, I'll take Rafinha all day long, all day, every day. He's a quality player. Lastly, Fabrizio Romano says that Arsenal are interested in Rasmus Højlund the boy at Atlanta, but it is highly unlikely that they will sign him. It is highly unlikely that Arsenal will be an option for Rasmus Højlund. Now, listen, I like the rumors, and I like reacting to rumors because they just give me a sense of direction to where the club is and who we are going to sign and which kind of positions we are trying to fill. But with this, with this kind of links, Rasmus Højlund, we know nothing about him. He's been on the stage at Atlanta for one season. Maybe this is his second season. He's a center forward who's not even scored those amount of goals that record breaking. I wouldn't really mind, to be honest. I wouldn't really mind. I think Arsenal can get any kind of player that we want. All this disrespect of, Arsenal can't sign this one, Arsenal can't sign that one, that is over now. We are back in the UEFA Champions League, and if you're Rasmus Højlund and you don't want to sign for Arsenal, peace off, go to another club. We can go and sign whoever we want at the moment. And I also kind of feel like we should stop or put a break at signing upcoming stars, right? 20-year-old upcoming star, unless it's Kylian Mbappe, unless it's Erling Haaland, unless it's those players that are beating the odds exponentially, right? The Jamal Musialas of this world. But if it's not that, I think Arsenal should just go in for the world-class signing. Get 70 million, bring in a forward. Get 70 million, bring in a defensive midfielder. Get 70 million, bring in a central midfielder. Get 70 million, bring in a formidable centre back. And that's going to make our side much, much better. But Fabrizio says, with Rasmus Højlund, There is no chance for Arsenal. And I don't care. I'm sorry, Fabrizio. I just don't care. I just don't care about this, Rasmus Højlund. He can go to another club. If he becomes a star, I will be shitting myself when we play, maybe when we play against him in 2-3 years. And I'm like, well, I said I don't care. I wish Arsenal signed him. Then we wouldn't have created a problem by ourselves. But for now, I'm okay. I'm absolutely okay. So what do you think about the MYKHAYLO MUDRYK situation? Are you happy that he's now in regret? Are you a little bit, humanistic? Because at times we do have that sense of we are humans. Like, to be honest, we are humans. You always have that side that emotions tap into, and I kind of feel for MYKHAYLO MUDRYK. I know he wanted Arsenal. I don't think he was a hypocrite. I think he's a traitor. I think he's I think it really, really betrayed our ambitions as a club, but it happens. It absolutely happens. Catch me on the 90 more as we discuss more of the Arsenal news, Manchester United, Chelsea, Barcelona, and all your previews and predictions. I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe to the 90 more podcast and Cossy's Arsenal podcast on YouTube.